Now, a second pupil from Kalubucha Secondary School has died. He was allegedly stabbed outside the school by other pupils. The incident is suspected to be the result of gangsterism in the area. The Adhering Education Department has urged the community not to disrupt schooling as grade 12 learners are busy with their final exams. Education Department officials are currently addressing the crowd. Actually, we understand that they have concluded, and our reporter Heidi Giokos joins us. Good morning, Heidi. Can you just give us a summary of what was stated around this issue currently that has brought parents to the school?
Yes, I think it's quite a worrying picture here in Fundo. We do know that officials are currently in a closed meeting, but community members, of course, raising the issue of violence that has apparently been a big issue in the school for some time. They've also made serious allegations against the principal of the school. We understand he has been suspended with immediate effect, but I want us to get more clarity on this very volatile situation. We are joined by Mr. Steve Mabona, who's a spokesperson for the MEC for Education in the province. Thank you so much for your time, Steve. We do appreciate it. Let's just clarify something. You've just told us that the second learner has not died, but in critical condition.
Yes, we understand that there's one learner that was seriously injured last night and is currently in hospital. We just want to check on the situation, how the learner is doing, but it's quite critical. So we should be in a position to update at a later stage on what is happening with the learner.
Okay. The situation is volatile here. Learners, community members, parents are not happy. You can even hear what's happening behind us at the moment. The principal has been suspended with immediate effect. But Steve, I need clarity on whether or not the department has been made aware before this particular incident about the violence and serious issues at this particular school.
No, let's clarify. The principal is not suspended.
He's not?
No, he's not suspended. We are working on precautionarily transferring him to the district because you can't suspend without investigating. So what we'll be doing, we'll launch our investigation, take all the allegations that are put on the table, and make sure that we then, take them through. And we'll need cooperation from all those that are raising those allegations to cooperate with the investigation so that they can be tested. Because you cannot raise issues that you cannot prove. We will take through the process and make sure that we take him through the disciplinary process. And always, people are accountable. There are labor laws in this country. We always must respect that and make sure that if there are allegations, they must be tested. So we'll go through that process.
But I don't understand. We were told when the community was being addressed that the principal has been suspended with immediate effect, and you're telling me, while I respect the labor laws and of course there are processes that need to unfold, somebody died yesterday and it's a learner from this particular school. So surely while those processes are underway, that principal should not be here.
No, look, you look at all circumstances that are put on the table and then you take a decision. Hence I'm saying we are considering a precautionary transfer. But remember, you need to follow due process. These things are not done sporadically, are not done as a matter of things that are happening now and do things immediately. You don't do things that way. You follow due process, do things the correct way, because we are talking employees here. An employee is protected by labor law. Is protected always at the work environment. So you can't pronounce without even interacting with the said employee. So that's why I'm saying that due process must be followed. But yes, there are a lot of allegations that are put on the table, which must be tested. Because if we're going to act on allegations in all our schools, then we're not going to have principals. So those are the things that we're saying. Let's follow due process. If there's a case to answer, one needs to be answerable to that.
So why was the community told he's been suspended?
No, I think it was premature. Announcement in which we did apologize to some members of the community for that information, but it's not the case. And to the viewers who were actually watching as well, we really want to retract that and apologize on behalf of the department.
I find this rather unacceptable, but this situation is volatile. Learners are writing. Matrics apparently have been moved to another school to write their exams, but you have other learners that are also writing exams. It's the end of the year. How are you mitigating this volatile situation? Learners are completely distressed. They've been complaining about volatile situation. Constant factor at the school. What are you doing as the department to try and help these learners?
You see, what happens in the school is a reflection of what happens in the community. And sometimes as education, we are really compromised. We are easy targets, I would put it that way. Because if you are not protected, if you don't have enough policing probably, or there's no safety in the area, it becomes a challenge for us as the department and schools. Hence, I mean, we understand now there's a fight that broke in a neighboring school, you know, a stone throw away from here, which I think from here we'll want to go and check what is happening. We are told that someone got into the school with a panga, and it's a primary school. So it's a bad thing that is happening in this area, and it's quite scary. Hence, we will interact with our counterparts, sister department, community safety, and the police, so that we probably visit this area together, because we have put a proposal, you know, to the members of the community to say, with our MEC and other officials, we'll come back, interact with the parents, and see on how we, you know, address the situation, because it's learners that are fighting, which is quite scary. We need to talk to them. We need to make sure that they understand on what is it that they are here for at the school. But also they raised an issue of a rotation at the school, which is something that we really need to reconsider. If it comes to a push that these learners must be overcrowded here, let's rather than deal with the Honorable Ramurife, because he will be coming here and tell us that learners are overcrowded. Meanwhile, there are issues of rotation. So we should really consider bringing the learners back at the school, because most of the parents are saying the rotation is not helping them, because some they are at home 2 days, they are supposed to be at school for the 3 days. Sometimes it's an opportunity for them to do wrong things. So we will reconsider the rotation specifically in this school.
Okay, just very quickly, lastly, have matric exams continued? They have not been disrupted, and examinations for the rest of the grades, have they been suspended, or do they continue?
No, our grade 12s are writing in a neighboring school. That's where we requested that they must be accommodated. Fortunately, the members of the community agreed, because on that score, again, we had to plead with them to say, let's allow the learners to go and write at the neighboring school. They then allowed that to happen. That's why we could manage to address them. So we are happy that they wrote, but we pleaded with the community, because after our public meeting, we had then have a stakeholder engagement with all the leadership in the area to say, let's allow the school to continue while we resolve issues in this area. So we agreed that on Monday, learners must come back. We'll monitor the situation. We are not sure what's going to happen, because now violence perpetually continues in this area. So we'll monitor closely and check on what happens.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the clarity. We do appreciate it. That's the spokesperson for Gauteng Education, Mr. Steve Mabona. Clarity, the second learner has not died, in critical condition in hospital, and the principal has not been suspended with immediate effect.